Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Saturday, April 8, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money, and if you are interested in props and parlay picks, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link to our Patreon and to our new channel in the description and comments section below. Denver Nuggets vs Utah Jazz. Rudy Gay, Walker Kessler, and Jordan Clarkson will be out for this game. Lauri Markkanen and Colin Sexton are listed as day-to-day, but do not be surprised if they do not play either. That does not leave the Jazz with a whole lot of remaining talent. Two veterans players that will be able to help are Chris Dunn and Kelly Olynyk. Dunn just had 22 points, 8 assists and 7 rebounds against the Thunder after getting the start at point guard. Olynyk scored 16 against the Thunder and had 23 in the previous game as he is taking advantage of his extra minutes. The Jazz also have a rookie guard out of Kansas. Ochai Agbaji will be asked to step up and prove he deserves a spot in the rotation. Talen Horton-Tucker is another scorer on the wing, but he is also listed as day-to-day, so he may not play in this one. The Jazz ranked 9th in offensive efficiency and 24th in defensive efficiency. Their tempo is ranked 12th in the league. Neither team has much to play for here, but the Nuggets that will be on the court will have a reason to play. Guys like Reggie Jackson, DeAndre Jordan, Christian Braun and Bruce Brown are all playing to prove they deserve playoff minutes. These types of games are big for rotational players to prove their worth or prove why they were on the bench on the first place. Denver is a deeper team, which means their second unit should be better than Utah's. I like the group of 4 listed above to beat a team that will be featuring Chris Dunn and Kelly Olynyk. A starter may play and change everything here, but as I see it, I believe most of the top players will be out and Denver will be left with a better squad and have more reason to play hard. Take the Nuggets to cover. Looking at the lineups that are projected to play, it is hard to not take the under. The Nuggets' highest scorer that is guaranteed to play is Bruce Brown at 11.4 ppg, and the highest scoring member of the Jazz that will definitely be out there is Kelly Olynyk at 12.3 ppg. These are not going to be lineups that would typically be expected to fill up a box score. Utah has gone under the total in 2 of their last 3, and Denver has gone under the total in 9 of their last 11. This may be a sloppy game with bench players who are not used to major minutes or do not have much chemistry with their teammates. This is a good spot for the under. Minnesota Timberwolves vs San Antonio Spurs. Minnesota is in a tough race for the play-in spot as the Timberwolves are currently in 9th with a record of 40-40, but are just 2 games back of the 5th seed and 2 games up on Dallas, who is in 11th. This season, Minnesota is averaging 115.4 ppg while allowing 115.7 ppg and has been led by Anthony Edwards, who's averaging 24.5 ppg. Karl Anthony Towns is averaging 20.4 ppg. Mike Conley is averaging 13.6 ppg, and Rudy Gobert is averaging 13.6 ppg and 11.7 rebounds. In the Timberwolves' win over Brooklyn on Tuesday, Minnesota got out to a 31-24 lead after 1, but was outscored 30-20 in the second quarter to trail at the half. Yet, the T-Wolves outscored the Nets 56-48 to get the win. In the win, Minnesota was led by Edwards, who had 23 points, Towns had a double-double with 22 points and 14 rebounds, Conley had 18, Jaden McDaniels recorded 15 points, Gobert also had a double-double with 12 points and 10 rebounds, and off the bench for the T-Wolves, Kyle Anderson had 10 assists. San Antonio is well in a rebuild and is 1 game up on Houston for last in the West, while trailing the Detroit Pistons for last in the league. On Thursday, the Spurs and Portland Trail Blazers were going back and forth, and San Antonio was trailing heading into the 4th quarter. Yet, in the final frame, the Spurs outscored Portland 31-27 to get the win. In the win, San Antonio was led by Keita Bates-Diop, who had 25 points, Keldon Johnson had 24, Zach Collins had a double-double with 21 points and 10 rebounds, Tre Jones had a double-double with 18 points and 10 assists, and off the bench, Julian Champagny had 24 points. San Antonio is depleted with injuries and has been in tank mode for quite some time, while Minnesota is in a tight race to try and get the 7th or 8th spot so they can have at least 2 chances to win a game in the playoffs. With that, I'm expecting the Timberwolves to come out aggressive and really put it on San Antonio and get out to an early lead. Although Minnesota is 1-2 against the Spurs this season, this is a different version of San Antonio, who is playing without many key players. Minnesota should be able to use Towns and Gobert in the post and take advantage of the lack of size the Spurs have. As a road favorite, the T-Wolves are 7-6 against the spread, while as a home underdog, San Antonio are 17-17. Take Minnesota here to get a blowout win and cover. Even with the injuries, San Antonio can still score a decent amount while its defense is terrible, and Minnesota will put it on them and can likely get into the 130s, which is why I like the over here. The Spurs are 45-33-2 in hitting the over, which is tied for the best over record in the NBA, while Minnesota is just 38-42, but the Timberwolves play at a pace of 103.3, which ranks 5th, and San Antonio plays at a pace of 103.2, which ranks 6th, so I expect a high-paced game. As well, in the 3 games these two teams have played, the games have gone for 227.33 ppg. Finally, in the T-Wolves' last 5 games, the games are averaging 219.2 ppg, and the Spurs have gone for 246.2 ppg. Take the over. Portland Trail Blazers vs Los Angeles Clippers. Los Angeles has covered the spread in 6 straight home games against Portland, and I do not expect that trend to end on Saturday afternoon. The Trail Blazers enter this game with no motivation, as they are resting almost all of their key players and are already eliminated from playoff contention. Los Angeles is as motivated as any team in the NBA, as it needs a win to avoid the play-in tournament. The Clippers have won 11 of the last 12 meetings between these teams and should continue their dominance on Saturday. Portland has only picked up 1 win in its last 8 games and is not playing competitive basketball without Lillard. Our team pick is Los Angeles Clippers to cover. Portland has been playing recently without most of its starting lineup. Damian Lillard, Jerami Grant, Jusuf Nurkic and Anthony Simons all missed Thursday's game and are out for this one. In addition, rookie Shaedon Sharpe missed the game due to a knee injury and is probable against the Clippers, according to the Friday night NBA injury report. Among other key players out are Matisse Thybulle, knee, and Keon Johnson, finger. During Thursday's loss to the Spurs, Kevin Knox scored 24 points off the bench and Drew Eubanks added 23. Eubanks is questionable with a right ankle sprain. Knox is probable with a right quad contusion. Cam Reddish is questionable with lumbar soreness. In Wednesday's win over the Lakers, Norman Powell scored 27 points off the bench and Kawhi Leonard had 25 points while playing a game-high 42 minutes, 56 seconds, a game after playing 41-24 in a loss to New Orleans. Leonard, 23.7 ppg. Is averaging 25.6 ppg. In his last 10 games while shooting .537 from the field and .441 from three-point range. Since joining the Clippers, Russell Westbrook is averaging 15.1 points in 30.1 minutes in 19 games. The Clippers are 9-10 in those games. Center Ivica Zubac averages 10.7 points and 10.0 rebounds. The Clippers average 113.2 points while allowing 112.9 ppg. All-star forward Paul George remains out with a knee injury, while forward Marcus Morris is also out with lower back spasms. The over is 4-0 in the Clippers' last 4 home games and 6-1 in their last 7 overall. The over is 4-1 in Portland's last 5 games versus a team with a winning straight-up record. Even though Portland is 2-13 in its last 15 games, the Trail Blazers are still averaging 107 points per game in that span. That's not a great total, but it shows that even with a team of reserves, Portland can still score. They can also allow a lot of points, which means that the over seems to be the play. Take the over.